You don't have to have a lawyer present at mediation, but very often with matters which involve the law or complex facts, people will bring their lawyers with them because the lawyers have a very important role to play in terms of giving advice and managing the negotiations and generally being trusted advisors. It's important to remember that the mediator is not a legal advisor, doesn't offer advice. So having a lawyer present is often what the parties need to have to be able to assess their options and make decisions. Mediation is nothing like a court. It's really important to dispel any myth that there may be. The mediator is not a judge, not an arbitrator, and the physical setup is very much more informal. The people who are involved in mediation will tend to have their own private rooms in which they can meet privately and have conversations with the mediator. It's likely that there will also be a room in which those who are involved can meet together with the mediator if that seems to be appropriate. Nothing is mandatory, and there are all sorts of flexible ways in which the mediation can take place as the mediation day progresses. If you as a party are uncomfortable being in the same physical space as the party or the person who's involved on the other side of the dispute, if we're going to give the name sides to it, then there's absolutely no pressure at all to do anything that you don't want to do. Throughout the mediation, the people involved are able to make their own decisions with the help and guidance of the mediator as to when they meet, with whom they meet, and what they say. Mediation is one of a number of options if you have a dispute or a conflict or other difficult situation. Of course, there are other options such as going to court or, in building cases, going to adjudication. The benefit of going to mediation is that you're given the opportunity to reach an agreed solution with those with whom you have a dispute or a conflict, and you keep control over the outcome. Whereas if you go to court, then of course the matter is placed in the hands of a third party through your solicitors, and ultimately a decision is made by a judge, and that might be in your favour or it might not be in your favour. The reality often is that by the time the judge makes a decision, everybody feels that they've lost out in some way. So the beauty of mediation is that early on you can work together with those with whom you have a difficulty and find a commonly acceptable result. Mediators are specialists, but I think the way that I would put it is that mediators are specialists in helping people to solve problems. They ought to be skilled in negotiation, skilled in problem solving, skilled in helping people to communicate and have good understanding of what builds commercial, professional and personal relationships. Mediators will sometimes have knowledge of a particular subject area, and that may be helpful in building confidence with those involved. On the other hand, there may be a downside in that too much knowledge of an area may incline the mediator to form a view, which is not what mediators would want to do. So I think there are pros and cons, but if you're selecting a mediator, I would say go for somebody who's experienced, who has skill, and has the ability to draw people together, whatever the subject matter may be.